we started this thing called Powerful Subliminals, and it's like subliminal audio. So before I mention it to you,
Yeah.
have you ever heard of it before?
The subliminal messaging.
Yeah.
I've heard of the concept. I've never heard of people doing it in the route that you have, which is pretty intriguing, if I must say so myself.
And just to be clear, I didn't innovate this. You know what I mean? I originally saw these YouTube videos, let's say 4 years ago, and I thought they were the biggest scam. You know what I mean? Like let's say the law of attraction crowd, right? The people that and the people that don't use it for what it is, and they're just like, if I'm sitting on the couch eating KFC 7 times a day, watching porn, masturbating 4 times a day, but I'm thinking good thoughts, or I think that I am, everything's gonna be fine. Woo! If I watch this video, cheat code, you know what I mean? Like I'm still extremely against all of that behavior. And I thought that these subliminal audio was the same thing. I thought it was just like these people, they're just, jacking themselves off, thinking that they're doing good work, but they're not accomplishing anything. Then 3 years later, one of my closest friends, right? Like my best friend, we were talking one day on a walk, and he's like, I thought of this idea. You know how important having a vision is, from one of our other friends, right?
Yeah.
You hear me good?
Yeah.
So I was like, how can I get this vision deeper inside of me to where it becomes how they described it? And that's like a whole nother conversation. But I was like, okay, let me record this vision. I wrote it, it was clear, and every week I would get new ideas and I would update it and re-record it. And for a series of 5 weeks, I was updating this vision, getting clear on it, and it was extremely motivating. It was an amazing thing. I highly recommend anyone do this. Then I would put, the brain has different brain waves. So there's different frequencies that the brain, like if you're in sleep, you're in delta, theta. Then there's alpha brainwaves when you're kind of calm and peaceful and focused. And then there's beta, which is mostly anxiety, but there's a really nice way to go to beta in order to get active focus as well. So all of these brainwaves have their purpose, and we all have them. This is not up for debate or whatever. So I was like, let me put a theta track that you could find on YouTube and put it underneath my vision that I recorded on my microphone, screaming it into it.
So it's basically you took your phone and you started talking about the things you want to achieve, what your vision.
Yeah, I had it all written down on a Word document. You know what I mean? Everything, all my goals in detail, whatever, just going all out on this document. 15 pages, it took 25 minutes to read it. Super, a whole process.
Yeah.
The cool thing is that most of it's coming true, so maybe that helps. But that's another conversation also. But then I put this theta track, which is the deep sleep, so that your conscious mind goes a little bit into sleep mode.
Yeah.
And then I would listen to this track, and kind of the idea would be to install my vision into my mind deeper and deeper, because we know that the subconscious rules 95% of your behavior, right? And I just pause right there to really comprehend that 95% of what you do is your subconscious mind ruling you, which is insane. And if you think just let's say one step further, that means anything I want to accomplish, I must get my subconscious behind it. I must have the seed planted in my subconscious before anything changes in my reality, because your conscious mind is not that strong, and it takes a lot of energy to use your conscious mind all day long. People underestimate how challenging it is to really think. People think that they think, but to think, it takes a lot of focus, especially right now when there's so much cheap dopamine everywhere. It's getting harder and harder. In 10 years, the ability to read a book will be gone. You know what I mean? It'll be so hard to read a book now. And you hear so many people now being like, hey, I can't read a book. You're crazy. But what they're really saying is that their dopamine's all fucked up and they can't focus on one thing. The act of reading a book that they know is super valuable, could change their life just from one page, you're getting like, especially if it's a great book, you're getting maybe millions and billions of dollars worth of value if you're coming at it with the right mindset. And you can't get yourself to do it because it's not pleasurable enough hormonally with your dopamine, right? So what was I saying before that?
So the theta track with your affirmations is 25
so
pages.
I was doing the theta track and it was good and everything. And I was telling my friend what I was doing because we're always sharing like, yo, I'm doing this new thing. Here's this new book. And he's like, so like subliminals? And I was just like, what are you talking about? I guess the vision track is subliminal underneath the, you know what I mean? Like I was just using like what you think subliminals are. Like, yeah, like I guess the vision, yeah, I guess it's a subliminal thing, right? That's what I'm doing. But he's like, no, subliminal audio. And I was just like, what's your problem? What are you saying? And it was like this back and forth. Then a week later, I was like, yeah, did you do this vision thing? He's like, so are you talking about subliminal audio? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Then he showed me these YouTube videos that he was listening to. And these were the same ones that I thought was like the biggest scam. I was like, what? You're listening to these? First of all, why didn't you tell me? I was like deeply offended. I was like, what the fuck? We share everything. And then the next thing he said was shocking because this is the type of person that is 100% genuine and honest with everything. And it's not like he was hiding anything from me.
Yeah.
But he would have shared it. It just never came up. And he's like, I would attribute, as we went deeper in conversation, I would attribute 40% of my personal growth to listening to these subliminal audios. And that was like the biggest mic drop. I was like, what? Because this guy, it's rare to find someone like you, right? Someone that's putting in the work, not just for 1 year after a painful moment. You know what I mean? Like everyone has a painful experience. They're like, let me grow. Let me go to the gym. They get a little results. Another thing happens and they forget all about it. To do this consistently, to do like, that's why I like people like Drake. You know what I mean? Consistent over a long period of time always trumps everything else.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking hard to go in again and again and again when, you know, it's fun on the come up, but to stay high, it's a whole, no one even talks about that, right?
Yeah.
And this guy is legit. Like he's putting in the work 1,000,000,000%. And he was saying to me that he would attribute 40% of his growth to subliminal audio. So after he told me that, I started going 1,000% in. I started listening to some tracks. I started getting some really good results. And then just like with everything that we do, I like clothes. I create a fashion company. I like this. I want to create a company with it. I want to do the things that I love and I want to share it and I want to give value to the things that I love. And so I ended up creating this company, doing a lot of research. I have a partner who's been an audio engineer for, I think, just over 10 years now. And it just kind of worked. I would write the scripts. He would do this. But now I'll explain what subliminal audio is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because the mind-blowing thing about what, like the one track that you sent me that I listened to, it was, it sounded like rain, right? It was like a relaxing, soothing sound. And you were like, bro, you don't even realize, but it's screaming positive affirmations at you. And I was like, I don't hear any of it at all.
Yeah. But like, let's say if I brought you to our office and I showed you the screen, there'd be like, let's say 40 different layers on this track. If I were to mute 3 layers, you would hear it perfectly at the same volume that you're hearing my voice, right? But it's muted because the goal is to bypass the conscious mind. That's what subliminal means. Sub, below, lineal, line. So below the line of the conscious mind to reach the subconscious, because the subconscious is the root of 95% of the behavior, right?
Right.
So we want to reach the subconscious. That's why hypnosis works. And that's why everyone has had amazing stories with hypnosis, because hypnosis, what does it do? It puts you in this hypnotic state that your conscious mind's not getting in the way. Na, 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 na.